Alright, so for my capstone video project, I'm choosing to do the B track and talk about just things that I did and learned during COVID and am still learning. Yeah, so some things that helped keep me sane um, during lockdown were was like especially kind of towards the beginning ish, maybe a few months after lockdown. I started watching um, these vlogs by the Bucket List family on YouTube. Um, they are a family that just travels and they vlog about it. Um, and that was just really, really fun for me. I think it was just like this good like reminder of the world that is like right outside my door, and that um, just kind of gave me this hope like after lockdown is over, after um, hopefully we like get COVID under control a little bit more, like I could hopefully like experience the places that they're going to sometime and like go to the same places and stuff. And so that was just really like a time that just like made me happy throughout the day. Um, Another thing I did was I did a lot of crafts and just drawing, coloring, painting, whatever. Doing crafts has always been like an outlet for me. I'm not good at it by any means. I'm definitely not an artist, but like it's just something that is fun for me to do. And I do it a lot during like school breaks and stuff like that too. So it's just like a creative outlet for me that helped like um, just like rejuvenate my mind, I guess. Um, Especially when there was just a lot of stress about the unknown. Um, yeah, and another thing was um, just hanging out with family, watching movies with them, watching movies that I'd had never seen before. I watched all the Star Wars movies for the first time um, during lockdown, and I don't know why I hadn't watched them before because they were really good and I liked them a lot. So yeah, just a lot of family time, of course, and learning how to be patient too with them was a big thing. So then for like the more um, like the moral that I learned, the lesson that I learned, um, I'd say there's two that I learned. Like I mentioned, patience was a big one. Just being with the same people um, every single day, and as much as I love my family, that definitely got to be a little too much, especially when we couldn't leave and we would just get in each other's way. And um, yeah, I mean, I think everybody kind of understands that feeling, and learning patience. And then also just being patient about like when is COVID going to end? When is all of this going to stop? When are we going to be out of lockdown? Just being patient and allowing God to just work and to really trust in Him and put my faith in Him, um, and just be patient to see um, His plan at work in this um, during this time. And then um, I remember just many nights where I would just go to my mom, um, and I was just fearful of not getting to experience more of the world, not getting to live more of my life, and yeah, and so that was just a big fear factor for me, and I remember crying about it multiple times, and like I remember being scared about the second coming of Christ, being scared about heaven, and um, yeah, that was just a big fear that I had, and that was always like something that was hard for me to admit because I felt like um, it was like dishonoring to God and like He was mad at me, but um, especially these past few months, and I think I even mentioned it in one of the discussions from one of the weeks during this class. I don't remember which one, but how like God's not disappointed in me with that over that, and he's not mad at me for it either. Like, I'm definitely not the only one who has experienced those feelings of fear or dread, I guess. But yeah, I learned that the reason why I was dreading going to heaven, dreading the second coming, was because I really didn't know Jesus at all. I didn't know God, and the way I was viewing God was as this distant and angry father, and that's not who he is at all. So of course, like, if I saw him as a distant and angry father, like, that's not someone that I'm gonna want to be around, and especially for eternity. And so after figuring that out, I really spent time like getting to know who God actually is. And so that, especially during it wasn't really during lockdown, but like still during, like, in the thick of COVID too, I guess. Yeah, that was just really beneficial for me to see heaven as something to be hopeful for, and excited for, and that it's going to be fun getting to hang out with Jesus all the time, and just really get to know him. And so yeah, I would say that's the biggest lesson and takeaway that I've had from COVID. And I like to think that hopefully I would have gotten to a place where I could be hopeful for heaven without having COVID and everything. But yeah, it's just been beneficial. It's been hard. It's definitely stretched me in many ways, but I am thankful for it, and I love seeing God's plan, God's goodness shown even in the most difficult situations.